Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
The ocean spirit dances today to abundance and joy and to eternal peace.
Jake about to live, man. Jake about to truly live forever. And how we gonna tap in? Through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is gonna lead us into eternal life. This wisdom is gonna bring us into the kingdom of heaven, which starts with the elect. In Lord's will, we are those men. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 17. And it reads, "For the very true beginning of her, and her represents wisdom. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom." So this wisdom is going to bring us into the kingdom of heaven, because it starts with the Lord's men. "If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O you kings of the people, honor wisdom, that you may reign forevermore." You see?
To the glory of our golden age, may it shine forever.
So we're going to reign forever. Lord's willing, we are part of the elect.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of God.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, pushing to get up out of it. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. And what I want to get into this morning, is a lesson, dealing with high our faith and prophecy, high our faith and prophecy, man, because, we live in a society, where people, are trying to escape their reality. You have a thing called escapism, where people are trying to, people do drugs, people, chase, sex or, the night, attention, clout, people eat, go binge eating, and it's all an addiction, to escape, reality. You see, but on the contrary, all right, as we see, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, has given us faith, and we're seeing the reality of prophecy, come to pass. Well, these things boost our faith, man. These things boost our faith as we see our power, okay, doing exactly what he said he was going to do in the scriptures, man. So we're in a time now as prophecy is unfolding, we're getting all these faith boosters, man. And it's like a natural high, see prophecy happening, then get that, that jolt of faith, from seeing prophecy happening, man. It's a natural high, in these last days, man. The Wadi Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, for everything that he's doing in these last days, man. And when you go into let's get a couple precepts and then we'll get that definition of a natural high. Okay. Now when you go here, let's get this in Psalms first. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 8. It says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai is good. Blessed is the man that trusted in him." And just as you would try, certain foods, that you can become addicted to, in the world, certain, experiences you can become addicted to, even drugs, there's like people who are addicted to drugs, they try it the first time and that feeling, becomes an addiction, man. Well, we have this feeling for Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, as we come into this understanding. I know when we first, especially, you first come in, man, you just obsessed with reading, you become obsessed with, watching videos, man, because of the feeling, man, you're getting all this new information, being able to be edified, when you watch videos and, being edified when you read, and we still get that now, and now when we first come in, man, it's like a rush. You see, it's just like a rush to the body, man, to the spirit, that's us tasting our power. The scripture tells us, "Well, eat this roll," and it becomes addictive. And even to this day, man, it's an addiction to learn. It's addiction to teach. You see, it's an addiction to learn, continue to learn, to grow. It's an addiction to learn is what's being applied real time. To apply, their way of thinking real time, to apply certain actions in the scriptures real time, man. It's an addiction, man. It's an excitement, to read and like I say, learn something new. Even if it's something you read before, man, to pull something new from it, it becomes like an addiction, man. Watch a video, man, watch breakdowns and, watch brothers go in, man, in their perspective and bring things out, man, fellowship. And it's an addiction, man. Fellowshipping with brothers, man, meet new brothers, man. These things are like a natural high. They're like an addiction, man. And that's us tasting our power and seeing that it's good, man. Like, no, this is it. Okay. And see, these things don't have the consequences of, drugs, or binge eating this, this toxic food, okay, or chasing clout, partying and, destroying yourself, man. This world teaches you to, follow addiction, to chase out the highs that destroy yourself, man. People love attention in this world, man. Okay, et cetera, et cetera. But now, man, we tasted our power, man. We believe in the kingdom that's to come, man, and the anticipation of that kingdom, okay, is like a natural high. See, the Lord has given us, a sample, okay, of a greater dose that's to come. Us being changed, all right, having rulership, man, having authority, man, and the Lord has given us like a sample of it, man. And now our spirits, want the rest. What's the scripture say? When we thirst, for righteousness, man. When you go here and it says, let's see. Here you go. This Romans 8:18 says, "For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared, with the glory which shall be revealed in us, man." And faith, and belief in the promises, and belief in our power, and belief in prophecy, is giving us the ability to suffer, because we have an expectation in mind that's beyond this world, and it's a feeling of, we know once we get through this, we're going to be okay forever. We're going to be good forever, man. We get through these temporary, sufferings, these temporary moments, we're going to be good forever, man. And it's a beautiful thing. It said, "For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High." Okay, so the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High, man. And you go into the earnest expectation, man. And we can't wait, to tap into our full blessing, man. We have this understanding. We have the Holy Spirit. We have the gift of faith. We have the brotherhood. Okay, and that's a sample of more to come. Okay, because you go into this earnest expectation when you get into Greek.
Strong's G 603. Apakaradakia. Apakaradakia.
Okay, and let's go here. Let's go into the definition. And it says, an anxious or persistent expectation, man. Expectation, and let me see. It might be that root word that I really want. Let me see. Sense. Let me see, open it. Wow. Let's go. I know it's that word earnest. Blue doesn't change it. Let's see. So lucky. Earnest expectation. Let's see one more time. Yeah, man, it used to give us a definition, man. Because I know it goes into an anxious, persistent expectation, because we have an anticipation in something far better, So when let me see. It says an intense, anticipation, man. And like when you certain foods, and like I said, using the world, the nightlife, you have this expectation, couldn't wait till the weekend, for the club, the nightlife, couldn't wait for particular things, particular addictions we had in the world. It was always anxious and a persistent expectation for it, man. But how much more in this truth, man, understanding what we got coming, this Lord has given us the ability, to believe these things, man. It's like a never ending suspense, what those chariots are going to be like, man, when they come and block out the sky, man. When they come, and judge, we'll change. You see at the twinkling of an eye, those new everlasting bodies, man. It's like a high, just expecting it, man. And I can't find the definition, man. It used to that word earnest. Let me see. I'll just type in the word earnest. Yep, it used to give us another definition, man. All right, let's go here. So you go 2 Corinthians 5:5, it says, now he that has wrought us, all right, for the self same thing is the Most High, who also have given us the earnest of the Spirit, you know, the expectation. And it's the Lord that gives us, you know, that earnest, the expectation, man, that intense, you know, anticipation. You know, it comes from Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, man. You know, he puts that on our spirit, you know, that has us addicted to this thing, man, that keeps us locked in. You know, everything comes from Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, man. You know, it's a gift. You know, we of the elect, man, the Lord, you know, gives us certain attributes and qualities, you know, to keep us locked in. Now let's see. All right. Yep, this is it. This is it. There we go. Can't let it whoop me. Goddamn.
Strong's G 728. Arabon. Arabon.
Bone, like the Wali Abashim Al Shah. So yeah, so you go into this word, and this the one I want. It says earnest. It says money, which in purchases given as a pledge or down payment, that the full amount will subsequently be paid, man. So the Lord has given us the Holy Spirit, the gift of faith, you know, and the understanding, you know, the brotherhood, you know, this ministry, man, is a down payment. Because when you're around brothers, it's a small sample of the kingdom. You know, being around brothers, you know, fellowshipping, you know, doing the work, okay, you know, just dealing, man. You know, it's a small sample of the kingdom. You see, it's a small down payment to show that the Lord is going to pay the rest. You know, he's going to give us the rest, okay, of the blessing, man. Okay. And the Lord keeps us, you know, it's a natural high, you know, being part of this ministry, man. You know, it's a natural high to have faith and see prophecy unfold. Okay. And it's just a small, you know, what we have now is a small down payment, okay, as a surety that the Lord is eventually going to give us the rest, man, if we endure, man. And it's just more, all right, of a incentive, all right, to endure. Okay. Now, real quick, let's get this. This is a natural high. All right. Let's look it up real quick. So we go here to a natural high, and it says a natural high is a state of mental euphoria, calm, or excitement that comes from healthy, safe activities rather than drugs or alcohol. Okay. It happens when your brain releases feel-good chemicals like endorphins, dopamine, and endocannabinoids during enjoyable actions, man. And see, now, you know, like I say, I enjoy reading. You know, we enjoy reading. You know, it becomes an addiction, man. You know, okay, what are we going to learn new? What new perspective is the Lord going to give us, man? That anticipation. You know, just having that intense anticipation, you know, just from reading. Okay, you know, teaching a lesson, man. You know, the feeling that the brothers, the church being edified, man. But the brothers, you few sisters are being edified, man. That's an addiction, man. Okay, because it's forwarding, all right, the will of Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, being pleasing to our power. You know, these things will become enjoyable, man. You see? So the same, you know, endorphins and dopamines that are released, you know, during, you know, using drugs, you know, through other things, you know, but now, you know, we get that feeling from this ministry, man. You know, we should have that feeling from the ministry. You see, he said the brain chemistry says, it says how it works in the body. Said activities trigger internal chemicals such as endorphins and anandamide that lower stress, block pain, and boost mood, man. I know brothers, all brothers have the testimony, man. No matter how we feeling, you know, before a lesson, man, after lesson, our mood is boosted. You know, camp just, you know, as we do these weekly lessons, you know, our mood is boosted. You know, it lowers our stress, you know, knowing that we're being pleasing to our power. You know, we're doing these things in sincerity, not to be seen, not for clout, but for the sincere, you know, purpose of edification, man. for the forwarding of the body, preparing the body for the return of Yahushua, preparing, the body to go through the straight gate, man, to leave this world behind, man, and depend on Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, man. Certain ailments, certain pains you might, doing the lesson, man, is like medicine, is therapeutic. And then you go to camp, man, it's on another level, man. No matter how, my mood is before camp, man, after camp, man, my mood is boosted. I can have certain pains, like good, for sure, stresses, and that's why, especially like you do camp and then you fellowship with the brothers right after, man. It's like, oh, man. You see, man, okay? And it's the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Shah, man. But I know, especially lately, man, I can't wait to go to camp. There's an anticipation of going to camp, man. Seeing brothers grow, brothers becoming, more thorough teachers and leaders. It's just a beautiful thing, man. To see it all play out, real time, man. And just to be a part of it, man. It's a natural high, man. Just to be on the scene. You see? So when you go here, just want to bring that out. Just to be a part of this circle, man. Okay? But when you go here, let's go back. I said, just to be on the scene, just to be with brothers, just to be a part of the ministry, man, to have a role. The Lord's given us an office in this thing, man. It's like, man, it's a natural high. You see, we're serving Yahushua, man. We serve the King, man. I can never just really reel that thought in, man. Like, man, we serve the King, we serve Yahushua. Like, and then he tapped in with us, man. You see, it ain't like it's so. Nah, he tapped in with. He be dealing, man. You see, and it's like it's a surreal. I know brothers. Know the feeling, man. You see, brothers got testimonies. It's like, man, this is Psalms 84:10 says, "For a day in thy courts is better than 1,000. I had rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my power than to dwell in the tents of wickedness, man." And I'd rather be right here, whatever, hey, fulfilling my office in the spirit than doing anything else, man. Than being with, celebrities and, having clout in this world, being famous and having the wealth. And, I'd rather be here, man. You see, than to be on the scene in this world and be, nah, man, recognized in this world and have the little goodies of this world. Nah, man, I'd rather be here, man. My little simple, basic ass life. Okay. And serving the Lord, man, I'd rather be here, man. You see, because there's such an anticipation that's beyond this world that this world can't give. I'd rather be right here, man. Nowhere else, man. The feeling is like nothing, no other thing, man. Okay? When you go here, you see, this is the only thing that quenches our thirst in the spirit, man. Nothing else can suffice. Okay? And we really, appreciate it, man. It should be a continual appreciation, man. What the Lord is doing. All right, what he got in his own, man. Like what Yahushua got in his own, man. We're becoming immortal. You see, that's literal, man. We're literally becoming immortal, man. Following Yahushua, man. Okay? Like, we not, come on, man. You see? I say it's a lot of things that be hard to put in words, man, when you really think about, what the Lord is doing. Okay? Psalm 65:4 says, "Blessed is the man whom thou choosest and causes to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of thy holy temple." Man, and we're satisfied, man. The Lord has chosen us to approach unto thee, to be close unto him, man. The Lord has chosen us to be close, man. Like, we're near unto our power, man. The perspective we have, the discernment in the spirit we have to be in the inner circle of the happiness of what's happening in the world, man. You know, to understand, you know, what the elites got going on, and what, you know, these different nations got going on, and what this, and, you know, to be on the inside, man. And the Lord constantly just showing that He's dealing, man, through signs and, you know, through dreams, and, you know, to daily, you know, miracles, man. That's miracle. That's, you know, because these miracles are going to up and increase, man. There's certain things that happen in our favor, man. These are little miracles, man. You know, and everybody not close to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, man. You got niggas out here, all right, screaming for FEMA. Okay, niggas worship the PlayStation. You see, niggas out here chasing, you know, baddies, and, you know, just out here, man, through. Okay, people, man, mutilating themselves, man, finished, man. You know, but the Lord has us conforming to Yahweh Shah, man. The Lord has us close unto Him, man. You know, in His inner circle, man. You see, and it's just a natural high. You know, just to be in the room. You see, and we're satisfied with that, man. Like it makes it. We're not lacking nothing, man. You know, it's like we don't have the need to chase anything. You know, if the Lord adds something, you know, hey, it's great. If you don't add nothing, hey, we good. You see, and it's just a natural high. Even the spirit of being content and satisfied, man, it's a natural high. It's a euphoria within itself, man. Okay, you know, peace, man. Peace is a natural high, man. A peace of mind. You know, we have our vexations and, you know, our fights with Satan. You know, our bouts. You know, which is refining us, man, keeping us on point, man. You know, but the Lord always returns us to that peace, man. You know, in Him. You see. So going from there, let's get this. Psalm 37. All right, Psalms 37:4. It said, "Delight thyself also in the Lord Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart," man. You know, so it just says, you know, someone delights themselves in their addictions. Okay, they go all out for it, man. Somebody addicted, and so you don't have to be drugs, man. You gotta check this addicted to, you know, sports. You know, they go all out for it, man. You know, certain Jake, you know, addicted to, you know, whatever they're addicted to, they go all out for it, man. They delight themselves in it, man. You know, you see, so how much more us, man, is we, all right, have the highest calling you can have in existence, man. You know, the elder brother, Arawam, out of the Birmingham camp, man, he goes to that often, man. We have the highest calling in existence, man. How much more should we delight ourselves in this, man, than just, you know, like I say, just the, you know, the Lord, how the Lord is just upgrading us, man. You know, we becoming skillful with His wisdom and how we maneuver through this world, man. You know, like, man, so we delight ourselves in Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. He gonna give us our desires in due season, man. And He begins to give us our desires now, man. You know, because we, you know, should desire peace, man. You know, we should desire being content. You see the Lord making us content, you know, and you know, the Lord, you know, has us, you know, going through the process of, I say, becoming Yahweh Shai, man. We should delight in becoming like Yahweh Shai. This should be a delight, man. You know, and the Lord's going to give us, you know, our desires, and our desires are different now. You know, we desire immortality. We desire to be changed to get those new bodies. We desire to, you know, enjoy family and righteousness, man. Okay, to see the earth, you know, put back in order and righteousness, man. We desire these things, man. Okay, these heathens be subjugated to righteousness, man. Esau removed from power, man. We got bigger desires than the desires we had in this world, man. Okay, you know, the bigger desire than you know, a box Chevy, you know, 24s, you know, 612s in the back, you know. You see, you know, low level, you know, desires we had. Nah, man, we desire big now. Okay. Verse 5, it says, commit thy way unto the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Okay. Nah, man, so we locked into our power. You know, like we tasted the Lord, and there's nothing else like it. You know, and it has us committed. You know, Yahweh Shema Shai has put the spirit on us to be locked in, man. And he's bringing these things. We're watching him bring these things to pass, man. Everything that's happening is leading to our salvation, to our redemption, man, and the removal of the wicked from power, man. Okay, and the subjugation of these heathens to righteousness, man. Everything that we're seeing is leading to exactly that, man. Okay, everything that's happening, every major thing that's happening on a global scale is leading to that, man. You know, and we high off these things, man, in the spirit. Okay, so that was the point. Just wanted to bring that out, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified. Till next time, I say shalom. Shalom.